Marcy from Rising Sun Yoga and Wellness. For today's SomaYin class, I would recommend that you have 2 bolsters, something firm. 2 rolled up blankets will do nicely. 2 blocks, a strap you might want to need to go around your body. And I actually have a couple of soft little foam wedges that you can go under your knees if your knees are a little more tender. So those would be all the props. And we'll begin by lying long on our bodies. Just allow your bodies to grow nice and long on the mat. Really connecting with our soma. Soma is the Greek word for our body. And we really want to focus on the connection of perceiving our body from within. So begin to scan the body from the top of the head, through the neck, left shoulder, right shoulder. Noticing as we go down whether they're both sitting evenly or one side is sitting a little more firmly down on the ground than the other. Just really pausing, sensing, going down through the right arm and the left arm, both sides of the back, noticing the right hip and the left hip, checking the legs, noticing how the legs are sitting on the mat. And then please noticing if there's any one thing that you can do, some slight movement that's going to make you feel just a little more comfortable in the body. And make those changes if you need. And then once again, scan through the soma. Trying to really allow this memory to stay with you so that you can compare to it throughout the practice. And lying there nice and long, I would encourage you to start taking nice deep breaths into the belly if you're able through your nostrils. Allowing the belly to float up and down. And as you inhale and exhale, on the inhalation, allow you to say to yourself internally, I am breathing in life. And exhaling, I am breathing out love. Inhaling, I'm breathing in life. Exhaling, I'm breathing out love. I am breathing in life. I I am breathing out love. Allow these breaths to be long and deep. Noticing as you breathe into the belly, if you're able to do so, how this relaxes the body. I am breathing in life. I am breathing out love. And then if you would, please, 1 foot at a time, bring the soles of your feet to the mat with the knees up in the air, an easy resting pose. We want to gently press through our feet, allowing that bum to float up and then come back down to rest gently on the mat, the hips wide and relaxed. Notice how the legs are touching. We want them only to be making contact gently, as if cards are stacked together in a house of cards. Check the weight distribution between the heels and the balls of the feet to make sure that they're balanced in weight. And with those feet a hip width apart, we want to pause and notice if the knees are dropping together or dropping apart. If they're falling apart, you probably need to move the feet out a little bit further. And if they're coming together, you'll want to bring those feet a little bit closer to help even them up. Check the chin in relation to the forehead and make sure that it drops down just a bit, elongating the spine. As you lie there, this should feel relaxing and energetic at the same time. Well, it's such a great pose. We return to this frequently in between poses. This pose in and of itself can be done for 10 or 15 minutes. Helps release the psoas, lower back. And then we want to begin with our gentle arches and flattens. In our practice, we never want to force the body to go further than it should. We never want to work into pain. We want to honor and respect our bodies. Our somas have a beautiful intelligence of their own, and at the same time they store every experience we go through. This is a time to dive deep and connect with our somas, listening to what our body is telling us, allowing our minds to get out of the way and really connecting. So I will invite you throughout the entire practice to please work with your edge. You always want to find that golden spot where if you went further, it would be too far. Just coming to that sweet, sweet spot where it feels like just the right amount. So we're going to start with our gentle arch and flatten. rolling the hips and the tailbone and the sit bones forward, drawing them towards the ground below, and allowing your belly to gently float up towards the sky, and then allowing that arch to slowly release back to the ground, allowing that bum to roll up off the mat, and the spine to flatten down on the mat the whole way. Just a very gentle rolling back and forth of the spine, slow, small, curious. Really allowing the spine to move like a string of pearls. Feeling each vertebra rolling through this movement as it goes from pressing more firmly to gently rising and lifting away from the earth. And then we'll just allow that arch and flatten to organically move into a mini arch and curl. We do this by arching and allowing the backs of our shoulders to press down into the mat, and allowing the fronts of our shoulders to float up to the sky as we flatten our backs down onto the mat. Press our backs of our shoulders down as we go into the arch. What we'll notice is that the whole spine feels like it's slightly arching up towards the neck. And when we release and roll our hips the opposite way, allowing those shoulders to float up towards the sky, the back flattens down onto the mat. Allow the body to grow nice and quiet for a moment. Notice how the body is feeling after doing that little bit of release work. Back into our arches and back into our easy resting position. We're going to begin some gentle knee drops in the body, starting with our right knee. We're going to allow that right knee to just drop out towards the right edge of the mat, just an inch or two, and come back upright. And then our left knee drop out an inch or two. And then come back upright. Again, remember to work with finding your edge, not crossing that line, only dropping as far as feels good in the body. Always remember to keep the back of the opposite hip on the ground. If you feel it lifting up off the ground, that means you've reached your limit for allowing your leg to drop. We want the lifting up of the leg to be filled with ease as well. So keep that in mind. It's It's okay to work, but we don't want to work too hard to do it. This is a chance for our body to release and relax. Letting go of the tensions of the day. If you find places where you really feel like your knee is dropping through space, I would encourage you to just pause there and go right back up to where you feel like it's dropping out, and do it a few times right in there. See if you can maybe gain a little more control of the leg. Really allowing the muscles here to release. Tension and the stress that we've carried in them throughout the day. So for our next position, we're going to do a supine butterfly. That will be with both of our knees open, and we'll hold this pose for 3 minutes. Now, notice that my knees are floating up in the air. I could choose to just stay like that, with my legs open. But if I wanted a little bit more support, I could take 2 blocks. And I have 2 blocks come under my leg. Or I could choose to use a couple of bolsters. Maybe a little bit softer or a little bit higher. And the blocks. Just find what feels good and works for you. And get into that position. Just allow your feet as much as possible to find each other. Just allow those soles to touch if you're able. And allow your body to sink in and really release. If at any point in time you feel the level that you chose has too much sensation, you can feel free to prop yourself up a little bit more. If you discover you're craving more sensation, you can remove a prop and go lower, but if at all possible, just stay here in the supine butterfly with the Soles of the feet as close together as they can be. The knees dropping open. If you'd like to do that slow, deep belly breath again, you can say to yourself, breathe in love, life, breathe out love. Breathe in life. Breathe out love. Bringing your feet apart and your knees back upright. Find your easy resting pose. And then we'll do a yin resting pose where we allow the knees to drop in together and touch. Maybe move the heels a little bit further apart. This is just a counter stretch for the pose. Again, just really allowing that body release. If you'd like to give yourself a little hug around the knees, feel free. You can move our little bolsters out of the way if you were using them. Or your blocks. Coming back into easy resting pose, checking our position in our bodies, pressing through the feet, allowing the hips to float up and down. Going to go ahead and lift that right leg up and cross it over the left knee. In this position, take your right hand and put it on the inside of the right knee. And give equal pressure between the hand and the knee so that the knee and the hand are each exerting pressure against each other. And then just allow the pressure in the hand to increase a bit, gently pushing away that right knee. And then allowing that knee to win and gently push against the right hand. Bringing that knee in towards the midline of the body and maybe crossing over. We just want that little bit of resistance to really help our body work. And release. So we're going to now explore the supine pigeon on the right side of the body. To do a very gentle supine pigeon, we can just have that right leg crossed over that left leg. And we'll just lie like this for 3 minutes. If at any point in time it feels like too much and you want a little break, you want to just be out of the position, just bring your feet back into easy resting pose, or bring yourself into the yin counter stretch pose of the knees touching together from easy resting, or you can bring your legs long. Now, if your foot is flat on the floor and it feels like your body's wanting a little more sensation, you can take that block that you're using and bring it on the floor. Put the left leg on the block and then have that right leg crossing over top of that left knee. And if the body's craving a little bit more sensation, you can just lace the arms around that left leg, between the left leg and the right leg, and bring that foot up off the ground. Find the pose that's perfect for you. Remember, if it begins to be too much, you can always release or go to a lower level. Breathe in life. Breathe out love. Inhale life. Exhale love. To the belly, long exhalation. Inhaling love, life. Exhaling even more love back out into the world. About 2 minutes into this position. You've got about a minute left. If your body is asking you to release now, you can go ahead and release into yin resting pose, or to lie with your legs long. The choice is yours. Otherwise, allow your body to release. as you inhale life and exhale love. And then releasing that right leg from over that right knee. Bring both feet down on the floor, about a hip width apart. Press through them again, lifting that bum up and allowing that bum to float back down on the ground. Checking the feet position. Beautiful, easy resting pose with the weight perfectly distributed between the fronts and the backs of the feet. And then let us just begin some more of those sweet, gentle arches and flattens in our body. If you'd like to do that mini arch and curl with the shoulders floating up with the flatten and down with the arch, feel free. Listen to the body and what it's whispering to you about what it's craving. Over with our attention to the left leg, cross that left leg over the right leg. Bring the left hand onto the left knee, really allowing yourself to feel that gentle counter pressure between the knee and the hand, and then allowing that knee to be gently pushed away from the body as it provides resistance against the hand, and then allowing that knee to press back into the hand, moving towards the midline of the body and possibly over it. Gentle practice of giving and releasing. Allowing the tension held here in the body and the muscles to begin to let go. And then releasing the left foot for a moment. If you need to grab a block, do so again. Rearrange your body. But once again, we're going to cross that leg over the right foot in that number 4 position in our supine pigeon. Seeing how that feels. If you need, put that foot a little higher on the block if you need more sensation. Recross the legs, and once again you have the opportunity, if you wish, to lace the left arm in that upper part of that triangle that your legs form and grab behind with the other leg. If your body's craving even more sensation, once again the invitation is to try to stay in this position for the full 3 minutes. So trying to find that way that your body can be happy without moving. But if the position you chose, you find it's too much sensation, you can always release to the gentler level. At the same time, if at any point in time you need to come out, you're welcome to go back into that yin resting pose. to allow your legs to grow long. Slow, deep breaths into the belly. Breathing in life and breathing out love. Exhaling love. We're down to less than a minute. Listen to your body if it's asking you to come out sooner. Going into that yin resting pose with the knees together, or just allowing the legs to grow long. Releasing our legs from this position, bringing both the feet down to the mat and allowing those knees to drop in, gently touching each other in the yin resting pose, counter pose for this position. Trying to keep the breath in the belly. And then releasing our legs from that position. If you'd like to hug the knees to the chest and roll the back out of it, feel free. Then I'm going to ask you to roll over and press yourself back upright. We're going to take a seated position here. Now, you may wish to use a strap for this. We're going to do tree stump. So we're going to be hugging our knees towards our chest with our head coming down. You might want to be sitting like that. You may wish to have a small prop underneath your bum as you do this. Or you may wish to have a little bit taller of a prop. When you find the position that works for you, again, we're going to be sitting upright, hugging our knees to our chest and having our heads down. So the strap actually allows us to go a little bit deeper, but it also makes it, I feel, easier because then the strap is holding you up and your body actually has to do less work. You can just relax more. It holds you in. Your head can come down. If you have a little pillow available, you can even bring that in to rest your head on. Breathing in life, breathing out love. Have about a minute left in this position. Again, listen to your body. If it's asking to come out now, you may do so. And then we can release ourselves from here if we haven't already done so. Use the strap, removing the strap. We're then going to do half frog. First the right side and then the left side. This is where you might want something a little bit soft underneath the knees. Now, one thing to consider in this position is that it can be challenging on the belly, so you might want to take one of those blankets or bolsters and lie long on it just to be propped up a bit, so you'll be more comfortable with that knee up. Your knee may come up very high. It may want to come up on the side lower. Find what works for you. If you're on a bolster, your breasts can lie off the front of them or not. You You might not want it folded that high and may want to unfold it a little lower, but find what works for you. If you wish to have your knee propped, do so. And then we're just going to allow our bodies to settle in with our forehead on the back of our hands. Now this time, as we can't breathe into our belly, I would encourage you to focus that breath, that long, slow breath, onto the back body, allowing that rib cage in the lower part of the back to really rise and expand with that inhalation, and gently release with the exhalation. Still inhaling that light and exhaling that love. If at any point in time really feels like you need to release from this position, feel free to do so. You could try backing off a little bit, allowing your knee to come down first, a little less high up the side of the body. But if that doesn't work, just let your legs grow long. With less than a minute left in this position, again, check in with your body and ask what it needs. It needs to release early. Just honor what it's asking for. And then allowing that right leg to grow long. You can either keep the hand on the back, forehead on the back of the hands, or you can lift the head a little bit higher so that the hands are near the elbows. This is crocodile. We're going to take a few breaths here. Again, really focusing this time on the rise and fall of the shoulders and the upper rib cage. You'll feel a pressing of the belly against the mat. And then bringing the hands apart, if you move them up towards the elbows again so the palms are on top of each other. Again, find that perfect position with the knee in your body. And then just allow yourself to once again settle back into half frog on the left side of the body.
Inhaling life, exhaling love. Less than a minute left. If your body's asking to come out, please honor it. And then releasing from this position, allowing the legs to grow long. If you wish, go ahead and rearrange the arms, moving the hands in towards the elbows more if you like, or not. We're going to go back into crocodile again for a moment. Focusing the breath in the rib cage. Feeling the pressure of the belly on the mat. And then coming out of belly down resting pose. We're going to go into a child's pose. We want to be very well propped here because we're going to stay in this for 3 minutes if we need to be propped. So I'm going to show you your options. Again, if you have tender knees, you might want something soft underneath them as you're lying down. Now, in the first variation, you could have a small bolster or a blanket between the knees and the bum, coming down like this. Or possibly having another bolster underneath the front of the body like that. Another option would be to be propped this way, a little more sensation. Maybe bringing that bolster in between the legs. And lying long like that. Or like that. And the last option would be just to come down on the floor. Now with child's pose, some people prefer to have their legs together, lying like that. I'm a person who likes my legs nice and wide apart so I can cozy in. So just find that perfect spot for you and sink in. Feel free to prop your head on the backs of your arms. ready to let go. Gentle breathing. Less than a minute left. If your body's asking you to come out, go ahead and release. Maybe lie long on your back for a moment. And coming out of child's pose. You may want one of these bolsters again. I'm going to do a supine twist with support. We'll drop to the right as far as I'll go first. Keep in mind, you might want the bolster, but you might want the block at a lower level, or maybe you won't need anything at all. Check in with what the body needs. We'll begin. There's a few variations on this too. An easy resting pose. And just allow those knees to drop over and catch themselves on that bolster. Or again, consider going to a block instead. They'll drop a little further. If you want the knees a little deeper of a twist, a little more sensation, those feet could lift up off the mat and then drop over. But I'm choosing to have my feet down on the ground and drop over. And out of trying both of those, my body is asking to use the taller bolster. Feel free to rearrange that left foot a little bit if you need to. And just let yourself settle into this twist towards the right. Long, gentle, slow, deep breaths in the belly. Inhaling light, exhaling life. Less than a minute to go. Again, if you need to come out of this position, bring yourself into the yin resting pose. The knees gently touching together and both knees up in the air. And then release from the right and swing to the left. Moving your prop to the other side. Maybe you'll find that you have a little more range of motion here. And you want to use a black instead of a bolster, or maybe you don't need the black. Just allow those legs to drop over, your body to twist. And with about a minute left, if you need to release from this position, then honor that. That's what your soma is asking of you. And then hugging the knees back up to the chest for a moment. We're going to do a blissful baby. So just bring your legs up in the air and grab whatever you can grab, either behind the legs here, or up here, or even onto the soles of the feet. Just allow yourself to hold here. Rock back and forth a little bit. Feels good in your body. Bring your feet back down on the mat, again pressing through, allowing the bum to come up and down. An easy resting pose, and bring your knees knees back together in the yin resting pose. And then I'm going to ask you to go ahead and release from this. We're going to get ready for our final relaxation. So you have plenty of props to help make your body more comfortable for this. So if you want to have a little pillow under your head, feel free. If you want to take that bolster and put it underneath your knees and lie long like that, you can. You can do that and have a pillow under your head. If you have an eye mask handy, you can wear that. Another option might be a little bit of a heart bed, where you set your blankets and your blocks up so that you lie like this and allow the body to open up. You can have the knees up. You can put the knees overneath another bolster, or you can have them lay long, possibly even in that butterfly position. You just really want to find the most comfortable thing that you can get into so that you can lie for about 15 minutes and not have to worry about moving and adjusting our bodies. Now settled in, I would invite you to just mentally transport yourself to a beautiful sunny mountainside, somewhere safe, warm, pristine. Maybe it's somewhere you've actually been before or always wanted to go, or maybe it's a mythological mountain straight from your imagination. Really see and feel yourself there now, resting your body on the body of this beautiful mountainside with your head towards its peak and your feet towards its base. As you rest on this beautiful mountain, take comfort knowing that the earth has your back in more ways than one. Feel the sun gently warming your skin. Pick up the scent of a distant lavender field. Breathing in that sweet and relaxing fragrance. With your inner eye, gaze up at the sky overhead and notice its shade of blue. Is the sky cloudless, or are there a few pillowy clouds overhead? As you take in all this beauty, breathe in the negative ions of this fresh mountain air, perhaps a little cool as it enters the nostrils. Feel how your breath can relax and rejuvenate you at the same time. And with your next exhalation, imagine a beautiful waterfall of light flowing down the mountainside, flowing down your body, letting it gather up and usher out any toxins or tensions and wash them right out through the tips of your toes. Breathe in through the toes and imagine a river of light flowing up the mountainside, letting it flow up the body nourishing each cell on its way to your crown. And exhaling from the crown, feel the waterfall again, flowing over you and through you, washing away all that's no longer needed. This time, letting it flow right out through your knees. And breathing in from the knees, really try to see and feel that river of light flowing up to the crown to nourish you. And exhaling from the crown, allowing light to descend and purify any toxins or tensions or aches and pains to flow out through the base of your spine. And breathing in from the base of your spine with light ascending, let it nurture you on a cellular level. Exhaling from the crown, this time letting the light flow down and out your navel to purify you. And breathe in from your navel and draw life-giving energy up with your breath. And exhaling from the crown, feel more light flowing over you and through you, exiting from your heart now, releasing any pain from the past. Breathe in from your heart now, drawing healing energy up to the crown. And exhaling from the crown, allowing that waterfall of light to flow out from your throat. And breathing in from your throat, allow more life and more light to float up to your crown. Exhaling from the crown, allow the light to flow down and out from your third eye. Breathing in from your third eye, vibrate light to the crown of your head. And exhaling from the crown one last time, allow that waterfall of light to wash over the whole body and usher out any last remnants of the old right out through the tips of your toes. Rest here on the mountainside with every inhalation an opportunity to nurture you, and every exhalation an opportunity to purify you. Please take one last look around at the beautiful scenery and take it all in. Please set an intention to bring back anything that was helpful from the mountain or from today's practice, and leave behind anything that wasn't helpful to be scattered to the winds. And allowing the toes and the fingers to gently move, and the hands to roll on the wrists and the feet on the ankles. Please begin to allow the body to move any way it needs to. Hugging the knees to the chest. Roll that back out, and then allow the body to stretch nice and long any way that it needs. And hugging the knees to the chest again. If you're able to, roll over onto your left side, resting in this curled up position for a bit. And then begin to push yourself upright into a seated position. May all beings find happiness. May all be free of disease. May all see what is auspicious, and may no one suffer. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed, and may you be a source of healing for all beings. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. Thank you so much for practicing with me.